ask the folks at A-plus schools. A-plus schools, I think we're all familiar with them. They are an independent community advocate for public education and improvement that publishes a yearly report to the community on public school progress in Pittsburgh. A-plus schools' most current infant report notes that even though the racial achievement gap narrowed by 0.3 percentage points in math and 1.8 percentage points in reading in the Pittsburgh public schools during the last 2 years, the gap itself was still 28.7% in reading and 27% in math for the year 2009 through 2010. A-plus Schools Executive Director referred to these gaps as stubborn. I would go a step further than calling them stubborn. I would call them criminal. Criminal because their impact is both far-reaching and multi-generational. Lower academic achievement generally correlates with higher rates of high school suspension, greater likelihood of being retained in grade, less likely of graduating from high school, and even less likely of enrolling in and graduating from an institution of higher learning. Obviously, that impacts and increases the higher unemployment rates, lowers incomes, and greater likelihood of incarceration. And that's according to the earlier report that was put out by the Council of Great City Schools. In other words, academic achievement not only impacts who does and does not graduate from high school and college, it also helps determine one's access to choices and opportunities, and whether one's life and the lives of one's children ultimately will be lived with meaning, with purpose, and with dignity. That's why this past May, the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh convened 107 African American leaders who represent the region's corporate, nonprofit, government, religious, civic, and community sectors in support of Black youth achievement and academic success. Thus was born the African American Achievement Trust, AAAT as we call it, which is a coalition of local African American leaders whose mission is to build a culture of academic achievement and equity and excellence for Pittsburgh's youth. The group's vision statement that is called from the work of 6 different committees, and there was a table out there that was soliciting you to consider joining one of those committees. It reads, "Out of deep and abiding love for our children, families, and communities, the African American Achievement Trust is committed to the advocacy for excellence in education and equity in outcomes in Greater Pittsburgh. The work of the trust is ongoing, and it includes engaging, mobilizing, and supporting students, parents, and other stakeholders, improving in-school and out-of-school learning opportunities, and research improving best practices for engaging African American youth, all directed toward the goals of academic equity and excellence." Just this past Wednesday, the Trust sponsored a symposium featuring the nationally renowned Dr. Dale Christopher, the Vice President of Program Strategy at the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, whose mission encompassing investing in programs that promote racial equity. The efforts of the African American Achievement Trust exemplify what it means to confront the fierce urgency of now. To meet the moment, to demand a better future for all of God's children. And those efforts are part and parcel of the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh's 93-year legacy of enabling African Americans to secure economic self-reliance, parity in power, and civil rights. So too is the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh's charter school, which is celebrating its 13th proud year of educating tomorrow's leaders. I am pleased to report that the Pennsylvania Department of Education presented our charter school with the Keystone Achievement Award, which recognizes sustained academic achievement as increased by a school's performance on the Pennsylvania system of school assessment.